Coming up on the Rockbridge Report, an update on the resignation of British Prime Minister Liz Truss, who stepped down today only after 45 days in office. We'll also tell you why both drivers and pedestrians in Lexington face a months-long change in their commute. In Kendall, Lexington, your not-so-typical employee is lightening the load for kitchen employees and residents. And Josh Darrow will join us later with a warming weekend weather forecast. All that and more coming up on the Rockbridge Report.
Live from the campus of Washington and Lee University with news from Rockbridge County, this is the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome to the Rockbridge Report. I'm Avalon Purnell.
And I'm Victoria Ernst.
After 45 days in office, UK Prime Minister Liz Truss has resigned, making her time in office the shortest of any Prime Minister in British history. Truss made a short resignation speech earlier today.
I recognise, though, given the situation, I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party. I have therefore spoken to His Majesty the King to notify him that I am resigning as leader of the Conservative Party.
A growing number of lawmakers had called for Truss to resign after weeks of turmoil sparked by her economic plan, which included a raft of tax cuts that shook financial markets and investors. Markets breathed a sigh of relief after Truss's resignation, and the pound rose about 1% to above $1.13. Truss is the third Conservative Prime Minister to resign in as many years and will leave behind a divided party seeking a leader who can unify its warring factions. She said she will remain in office until a replacement is chosen. Russian President Vladimir Putin has declared martial law in 4 illegally annexed regions of Ukraine. Putin's drastic efforts to tighten his grip on both Ukrainians and Russians follow a series of embarrassing setbacks, stinking battlefield defeats, sabotage, and troubles with his troop mobilization. CNN's Gloria Pazmino has the story.
Russian President Vladimir Putin announcing martial law in 4 southern regions of Ukraine, the Kremlin claims to have annexed in violation of international law.
Therefore, I signed a decree on the introduction of martial law in these 4 subjects of the Russian Federation, so it will be immediately sent to the Federation Council.
This comes as Russian-installed leaders in Kherson began relocating thousands of civilians. They say it's to move them away from the front line of the fighting. Ukrainian officials say the declaration is propaganda that aims to intimidate the people there. Ukrainian forces have been advancing through several parts of the Kherson region in recent weeks, capturing villages and farmland along the western bank of the Dnieper River.
What Putin is trying to do there is forestall, of course, any further losses of territory, desperately trying to put the military back in charge of everything, including civilians in those regions, but it's really not going to help him much.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky held a crisis meeting to avoid a breakdown of Ukraine's energy system, as Russia continues its wave of attacks on power stations. I'm Gloria Pazmino reporting.
The martial law order belies Russia's attempts to portray life in the annexed regions as returning to normal. The reality is that a military administration has replaced civilian leaders in the southern city of Kherson, and a mass evacuation from the city is underway as a Ukrainian counteroffensive grinds on.
Sources say Donald Trump's legal team is considering allowing federal agents to search the former president's Florida residence again. The potential search at Mar-a-Lago would be supervised. It's an effort to satisfy the Justice Department's demands that all sensitive government documents be returned. The DOJ believes Trump failed to comply with a May subpoena ordering the return of all classified documents, and that more government records remain missing. The FBI seized nearly 22,000 pages when they executed a search warrant at Mar-a-Lago in August. Some in Trump's inner circle are not convinced that there are any remaining government documents. The Lexington Fire Department has purchased a $1.7 million ladder truck, and it hopes the community will pay for it. The new truck will replace the department's 24-year-old ladder truck with a bigger rig, longer ladder, and the latest technology in firefighting. The fire department is now seeking tax-deductible contributions to fund the truck. So far, the department has received about $2,000 in community donations. Read Stephanie Chigalori's full story on our website. Lexington drivers have found themselves snarled in extra traffic on West Nelson Street for the past few weeks. That's because of the Woods Creek Bridge repair project, which will continue for the next 6 months. Shauna Muckle reports.
The project reduces a stretch of West Nelson Street to a one-way lane 24 hours a day. A temporary stoplight directs traffic each way. The city is contracting with Concord, Virginia-based Burley Construction. Project manager Jason Robinson.
It's a general revitalization project. Primarily what you see going on here is just the removal of deteriorated material. It's going to be replaced with new material, coated back over with asphalt. By the time everything's all said and done, the bridge is essentially going to look brand new.
Lexington city manager said the city is getting a head start on needed repairs. The Virginia Department of Transportation found structural risks with the bridge. The bridge will have all its concrete replaced in addition to a new drainage system. Without those repairs, water damage could eventually cause parts of the bridge to chip off. That would pose a threat to pedestrians on Woods Creek Trail. The city manager said he's heard no complaints so far about increased traffic.
My personal experience is when we've had construction in the city and I thought, got it. I've got to wait. It's a minute or two. It's not like in some communities or in some highways where it could be 30 minutes.
Some residents have questioned the timing of the daily construction.
Really, I would think you would want to do it, when the semester's not going on. But, I guess you do it when the workers are going to schedule it.
The city used American Rescue Plan Act funds for this $1.9 million bridge project. The Woods Creek project isn't the only city project underway. The $5.2 million Diamond Hill sewer lining and repair project will wrap up in the next few weeks after significant delays. Diamond Hill repairs have left Washington and Randolph streets patchy and uneven for months. The Diamond Hill project's conclusion was delayed due to supply chain backlogs and labor shortages. However, Hollis predicts that the Woods Creek project will end on time. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Shauna Muckle.
Coming up on the Rockbridge Report, you might be surprised by changes in downtown Lexington's businesses scene when it's time for holiday shopping. We'll have an update on businesses moving in and moving out.
The standardized testing calendar just got more crowded for students in Rockbridge County and Lexington City Public Schools. We'll tell you why.
The cold snap is over, and we've got beautiful weather coming our way. Your 5-day forecast coming up.
Report. I'm Avalon Purnell.
And I'm Victoria Ernst. Walmart, Target, and Best Buy will close their doors this Thanksgiving, a practice many companies started in response to the pandemic. Target's CEO called the move a temporary measure that is now the company's new standard. At the same time, the big retail chains are starting discounts early this year. Some have already launched promotions and sales events, and the plan to spread them out across the season. The extended shopping season means stores can close on Thanksgiving without a big impact on sales. And now, an update on local businesses. Many local entrepreneurs are launching or expanding their businesses in Lexington's historic downtown, specifically ones that sell luxury goods and services. Our reporter Tyler Palicia is live in downtown Lexington right now. Tyler?
Many local entrepreneurs are launching or expanding their businesses in downtown Lexington. As a result, the downtown is experiencing many changes.
2 years ago, Daniel and Fawn Shear opened a bakery from home called Seasons Yield Farm. They started out being only open 2 Saturdays a month. Seasons Yield opened a cafe at Haywoods on Lexington's Main Street last August. The cafe serves customers 6 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m.
So it felt like a great opportunity to pursue, low risk, great space.
Here in downtown Lexington, many other businesses are also increasing their investments. One is the Georges, which has purchased the former Sheridan Livery Hotel behind me from the Benincasa family. The building will continue to function as a hotel.
And this opportunity came where, the owners, Ann Parker Gottwell, thought about the livery as a way to expand and create more rooms.
But downtown businesses are not operating without some assistance. Main Street Lexington advertises the town's offerings on social media. It has also encouraged the city of Lexington to create more curbside parking spaces. And during the pandemic, Main Street Lexington distributed up to $300,000 worth of CARES Act funding to downtown businesses. Executive Director Rebecca Logan said that the flow of investment into the downtown will continue at least into the near future.
We've noticed in the past couple of years a great deal of
would you
private
vote businesses in 1
investment
minute?
into the buildings downtown. So there's significant money being put into renovating older historic buildings.
But some business owners are selling their downtown properties. Mike Mayo, owner of Cocoa Mill Chocolate Company on Nelson Street, said he had to move his business to the College Square shopping center because the downtown location did not have enough space. Lex Bowls, a smoothie place, has moved into Cocoa Mills' old location. Amy Phillips, one of the owners, believes downtown Lexington is the right place for her business to target its main demographic, young people. Betsy Lee, owner of the Old Lex Mercantile, a gourmet grocery on Nelson Street, is trying to sell her business. Lee said the Mercantile is financially successful, but she and the co-owner, her husband, are ready to retire.
Our goal is to make sure that Old Lex Mercantile lives long beyond our capacity to run.
Vogue Business reported last August that luxury brands remain bullish despite inflation and supply chain issues, which is good for some local businesses like the Georges and the Old Lex Mercantile. Live for the Rockbridge Report, I'm Tyler Palisha.
Perfect. Fall time means testing time for students in Rockbridge County and Lexington City Public Schools. But this school year, students in Virginia will take a winter test in addition to their regular fall and spring test. The Virginia Department of Education added the new test following decreases in test scores in most divisions after the pandemic, including Rockbridge County Public Schools. Read Lily Mott's full story on our website. Coming up later on the Rockbridge Report, this Iranian rock climber might be in trouble for competing in South Korea without wearing her headscarf. We'll have an update now that she's arrived home.
Lots of sunshine in Lexington today. We'll tell you if you can expect more of the same this weekend.
I'm Avalon Purnell.
And I'm Victoria Ernst. Florida has taken one more step in its long journey of recovery after Hurricane Ian ripped through the state. The bridge that connects Fort Myers to Sanibel Island is officially back open. Jennifer Veglis covered the reopening.
Cheers and signs with a warm welcome for residents, business owners, and contractors. Today was the first time entering Sanibel Island on wheels.
Yay! Got a bridge open, so things will be different.
Here's a look at the ride over. Crews worked a total of 36,000 hours over 15 days to patch up 5 different spots. The result? This.
I was excited to be able to cross. They did a tremendous job in a short period of time to make it look, very passable.
Surrounded by what was barrier beaches.
The areas where you were used to seeing, trees and sand were gone.
Down Periwinkle Way, Bob Averill, owner of the Islander Trading Post, says there's not much left of his 34-year-old shop to visit anymore.
A lot of people just came in and it was their first stop on the island. The water level was right here.
Ian brought 7 feet of storm surge into the antique shop.
Whether it was military or Popeye or any category that people might collect. And it was a culmination, like I said, of 34 years and gone in a day.
Averill gave up hope to reopen his shop, but after today, his faith the island will rebuild is stronger than ever.
Sanibel people are tough, and it's happening.
Definitely started to feel like fall this week. Luckily, today was a little bit warmer.
Absolutely. Josh, I'm curious, will I be able to bring out my fall boots, or do you think warmer weather is in the future for us?
You can definitely keep the fall boots stored for now. We're going to be getting some warmer weather. Right now we have a live shot in downtown Lexington. As you can see, we're really experiencing beautiful fall weather, clear sunny skies for now. Looking at our current conditions here, we can see that Lexington currently has a high of about 62 degrees, but we'll be getting into the mid-30s tonight. We're currently in the midst of a high pressure system, barometric pressure sitting at around 30 inches. It is windy today, which is definitely due to that fall weather. Wind speeds are currently at 10 miles an hour. They get up to 15, 20 with gusts, and low humidity, 27%. Looking around at our radar, we can see there's pretty much nothing around. We're looking at Clear, sunny skies, maybe the occasional stray cloud, but no precipitation incoming for the area. As we look around town, we can see Charlottesville is experiencing nice weather just like we are, 63 degrees. We're looking at low 60s in Stanton, Lexington, Buena Vista, and high 50s in Covington and Roanoke. As we look into finishing up our week and heading into the weekend, we're going to see similar weather tomorrow as we did today. High of 62, low of 34 on Friday. Getting into our weekend, it's going to warm up a little bit. We're going to see highs of 67 on Saturday and Sunday, lows in the high 30s and low 40s. And as we start next week, we're going to keep that warm weather. We're going to have a high of 71 on Monday, high of 70 on Tuesday, and lows in the mid 40s. That's all for the weather. Back to you all.
Coming up after the break, learn about the newest addition to Kendall Lexington's staff. We'll give you a hint, he runs on batteries.
We'll also give you the details on the Washington and Lee volleyball team's recent triumphs, as well as some local sports scores, coming right up. Report. I'm Avalon Purnell.
And I'm Victoria Ernst. Iranian climber Elnaz Rakabi returned to Tehran yesterday after competing in South Korea without wearing a headscarf, an act widely seen as support for anti-government demonstrators in Iran. After landing, Rakabi gave a careful, emotionless interview to Iran's state television, saying that going without a hijab had been an unintentional act on her part. The future Rakabi faces after returning home remains unclear. But her gesture prompted her immediate embrace by those supporting the demonstrations and made hundreds gather outside one of Tehran's airports to welcome her.
Now, WNL volleyball had a great turnout this past weekend right before reading days.
That's right. Addie Grace Cook has more.
Yeah, the Washington Lee volleyball team has been on a roll. Even though the Generals fell to Virginia Wesleyan last night in a 3-1 loss, the team has won 6 out of their last 7 games. Mackenzie Kane talks with 2 key players.
Good evening, Rockbridge. I'm here at Holcamp Gym at Washington Lee University, where the Generals volleyball team has just defeated the Randolph-Macon Yellow Jackets with a score of 3-2. I'm joined here today by Sydney and Caroline. Great game tonight. Sydney, it was quite an eventful night. We went from a quick 2-set lead to a tied matchup within a matter of minutes. Can you walk me through your emotions tonight?
Yeah, so Randolph-Macon is definitely one of our bigger rivals, so we all had a lot of adrenaline going into the first 2 sets, and it felt really good to go up in those first 2 sets, and I think nerves kind of got to us in the 3rd and 4th, and then we were just really able to grind through the 5th and get through the tired, so that was good.
And not only was this an eventful night, but it's an eventful game too. It's a conference matchup, but more importantly, it's your season's Bleed Blue game. Can you tell me what it means to bleed blue, and more importantly, what it means to you?
Yeah, so this is the first year that we've actually done a Bleed Blue game, but it's just when other athletes will come to our game after their practices or whatever. But I just think it's really special to have a lot of athletes here. You know, so many people at this school are involved in athletics, so when we can have more people in the stands, it just really creates a great environment for us to play in.
Absolutely. Best of luck, both of you, moving forward. Congratulations on the win tonight. And signing off with the Rockbridge Report, I'm Mackenzie Kane.
Generals field hockey is also on a roll, defeating Ferrum and Roanoke College. The Generals beat the Maroons 2-1. The ranked WNL men's soccer team is also rolling, with a recent shutout of Averett and earlier this week a 1-0 squeaker over Randolph. Women's soccer is also ranked and maintaining momentum, with wins over Virginia Wesleyan and a 2-1 defeat of Bridgewater. Generals football is taking its 5-1 record back to Wilson Field this Saturday for an afternoon ODAC contest against Hampton-Sydney. The Generals defeated Ferrum College on the road Saturday 17-7. Across town, the VMI Keydets women's soccer team lost to Furman 4-0 earlier this week. And Robert Morris beat VMI men's soccer 2-1. On the high school scene, Rockbridge County Volleyball beat Spotswood 3-1. Also, Rockbridge football lost to Waynesboro 24-7, and Perry McClure beat Craig County 41-7. That's it for sports. Back to you.
Thanks, Eddie Grace. Kendall at Lexington has a new employee of the month, and he isn't what you would expect. Residents at Kendall's assisted living facilities describe the dining staff as pleasant and kind, greeting each resident with a smile. But the newest employee, Alfredo, is a robot who greets residents with a French accent. Carly Snyder reports.
Kendall at Lexington is responding to labor shortages by embracing new technology. Alfredo, the newest addition to Kendall's dining services team, has the capability of fulfilling multiple tasks, according to culinary manager Clint Ayers.
Right now it is assisting our staff with bussing tables, and that's been very beneficial. Being short-staffed, it's coming up with creative ways to try to lighten their workload. It's helped them tremendously.
Dorothy Schoeneman and other residents at Kendall welcome Alfredo to the dining team and acknowledge Alfredo's contribution to staff.
You realize that dishes get very heavy, and our dining room is large and our kitchen is large. So the staff having to carry those. For them to say, I go home less tired, my back doesn't hurt, my feet don't hurt, was just great.
Director of Culinary Judy Kurtz says Kendall has only 25 culinary employees, a large decline from its previous 45. But Kendall is not only facing shortages in their culinary division.
Currently, we are brainstorming ways that we could utilize Alfredo, for example, in our skilled nursing center, assisting with dining services in that area. So hopefully in the upcoming weeks, we can implement something like that up there.
Schoeneman welcomes expanding Alfredo's services.
Alfredo or any robot will never replace staff. That is just part of our lifestyle here. But that he can be helpful to them and make life easier for them is just a huge plus.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Carly Snyder.
Alfredo costs approximately $1,000 per month, or $7 an hour. Employee salaries at Kendall start at $15 an hour.
And that is all for today's Rockbridge Report. Stay up to date on more national and regional news by visiting rockbridgereport.wlu.edu.
And join us again on Tuesday for our weekly news update.